Tonight on Cronkite News, details on plans by the city of Los Angeles to become a sanctuary city amid a planned immigration crackdown by President-elect Trump.
Members of the Arizona Rodeo Club are carrying the spirit of the Old West.
And see how the University of Arizona and Grand Canyon University fared off in the first annual Hockey Classic. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Sam Dayton.
And I'm Anna McClure. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday, the LA City Council voted to become a sanctuary city. This ordinance will prevent city resources from being used by federal immigration enforcement. The measure comes after President-elect Donald Trump announced his plans to use military force to help with mass deportations. Now that the City Council passed the measure unanimously, it will go to the City Attorney's Office to be voted on again, then it will go to the Mayor. Earlier today, I spoke with Cronkite News' Brandolyn Clark, who can give us more details about the ordinance. Hi, Brandolyn. Thank you for joining us. So what does it mean that LA is now a sanctuary city?
Hi, Anna. So basically it means that the city is prohibiting the use of city resources like property personnel to assist in federal immigration enforcement.
Okay, does this prevent federal efforts for mass deportations at all?
So it won't prevent deportations, but it does create barriers for that federal enforcement. They won't be able to access any information that is protected by the sanctuary law, including records, staff, or any resources.
Got it. And who's going to be affected by this ordinance?
So this ordinance will primarily affect immigrants living in the Los Angeles area, but it also will affect city officials and local law enforcement who will have to learn new regulations and new policies.
So 5 years ago, LA was formally named a sanctuary state. What makes this ordinance any different?
Just so this ordinance just adds specific measures to protect those immigrants and including staff training and auditing, and it'll just enforce how to cooperate with those authorities.
Amazing. Thank you to Brandolyn Clark joining us from Los Angeles.
For enforcement of the president-elect's plan here in Arizona, Governor Katie Hobbs says she will cooperate with the Trump administration. Governor Hobbs spoke earlier this week from the Arizona-Mexico border in Nogales and said she plans to talk with Trump's team about our specific security needs. Hobbs also says she won't support what she calls, quote, misguided policies.
What I won't do is tolerate attacks on Arizona families. I will not allow everyday Arizonans to suffer from misguided policies that will only divert resources from the important work happening here and across our border.
The governor also said a task force working along the border has seized more than 1,400 pounds of meth and 6 million fentanyl pills since the beginning of operations in July.
Another big issue facing Arizonans, healthcare, and those in need may not always have access to insurance. That's why some turn to a health clinic. As Cronkite News reporter Ignacio Ventura tells us, Valleywise Community Health Center provides many of those services to those in need.
Before 9 a.m., the Valleywise Mobile Health Clinic pulls up next to the facility of Nourish Phoenix, a nonprofit organization that functions as a food pantry, clothing bank, and more. The mobile clinic operates as a way to serve low-income individuals.
Well, it's so important because a lot of people don't have access to health care, and we want to make sure that they do have the access that they need to be healthy and happy.
The inside of the mobile clinic waits for people to make use of the health services provided. The services people can receive from the clinic ranges from women's care to HIV testing.
HIV right now in its current form, most people living with HIV are over the age of 50, but in terms of folks that are newly infected with HIV, we see a lot of folks that are younger age, between 22 to 34, and mainly in communities of color.
According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, the group with the greatest number of new HIV and AIDS cases was the Hispanic population.
I think this is a great program for the community, especially I know English and Spanish, and I know a lot of our patients are maybe a big percentage of them speak only Spanish.
Reports from the Census Bureau state that Latinos/Hispanics make up almost 43% of Phoenix population. In Phoenix, Ignacio Ventura, Cronkite News.
Another big health concern this time of year is the flu. And with chillier weather on the way and the holiday season around the corner, Banner Health tells us they expect a spike in flu cases. According to Banner, the flu is rising to above a 5-year season average, even though the season is just beginning. There are no real numbers at the moment, but Banner expects them to rise as people begin to travel for the holiday season. Banner recommends to wear a mask if traveling by plane, to wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. Banner also says if you do get the flu vaccine, it will take 3 weeks to take full effect.
Now to the University of Arizona Rodeo Club, which has been operating for generations. And it isn't just about the thrill of the ride, it's about honoring tradition, building community, and keeping family ties strong. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Avenatti went down to Marana to find out more.
As they saddle up and ride, members of the University of Arizona Rodeo Club carry on the spirit of the Old West, where every buckle tells a story and every rider is a part of something bigger.
The newcomers in the first years that are coming into college rodeo thinking like, oh, what is college rodeo? Or like, I didn't know, the University of Arizona had a college rodeo team. And so I really wanted to provide that visibility for one, college rodeo in general within our region, as well as, give more props to the University of Arizona.
For these members, rodeo isn't just a sport. It's a way to honor generations before them while forging bonds that last a lifetime.
Both of my parents did it and my grandparents, so we have like a farming and ranching business and everything. So I kind of just grew up in like the agricultural world. My mom and my dad actually were both U of A alumni, so they rodeoed for U of A as well.
So I've been riding since I was born. I was like 2 days old, probably on like a horse. So my dad, he is a team roper, so I grew up at like the rope-ins and rodeos and all that stuff, and it kind of just was something you were gonna do.
The club participates in 10 competitions a year throughout Arizona and New Mexico, taking part in events such as barrel racing and team roping, among others. The rodeo team's main goal, however, is to allow students to compete in rodeos and advance their skills while obtaining a degree through the university.
I applaud every single one of them because, as well as their academic journey, they're wanting to pursue college rodeo.
Practices are Mondays and Thursdays from 4:30 p.m. to sunset right here at Buchanan Equestrian Center in Marana. When they're not here, you'll find them right here, huddling over books and in labs at the University of Arizona as they tackle full-time student schedules in majors such as aerospace engineering, applied biosciences, and law.
These students are pursuing 4-year degrees. They're continuing their education, their academic journey at an institution that's huge.
These student athletes show that with dedication and passion, it's possible to ride 2 paths to success. In Marana, Lauren Avenatti, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, a look into one of the oldest trades.
And a community staple.
I'm very appreciative of that and what we've done here and where we're going.
We'll have more on this Phoenix barbershop as it strives to be a staple of positivity in the community after the break.
Plus, cold mornings and warmer afternoons. We'll have your full 8-day forecast, including a look at Thanksgiving Day after the break.
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me, so I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
People have always had trouble trying to put me into a box. A professor, suit and tie is just not me. Without the ocean, I don't know what I would do. You know, the ocean's always been there for me. As Hawaiian people, we believe that the coral is the first living being to come out of the darkness. It's the foundation of our entire lifestyle, and that's what my research is about. What we do is we take photographs of the reef over long periods of time to create models that can tell us what the planet is doing. If we go deaf to what the Earth is telling us, then we'll never be able to live in harmony. If I can get my students excited about protecting the ocean, then they're the ones who are gonna really make the difference. I hope my students realize that I'm not trying to prepare them for something in the distant future. Their time is now at Arizona State University.
Arizona native Jesse Ponce is a first-generation business owner and founder of The Greater Good, a local barbershop in Central Phoenix.
Ponce found his life's passion cutting hair, and as Andres Armenta tells us, he uses his barbershop not only as a place for haircuts, but as a staple of positivity in the lives of those in his community.
I mean, a barbershop's one of the oldest trades and forms of businesses, but it's always a community staple. It's always, if you want to learn about your city or community, you go to the barbershop. My name is Jesse Ponce, and I'm the owner here at The Greater Good. I'm a barber, and I'm a member of the community here in Phoenix. We opened in February of 2020, literally like a month before the pandemic hit. I feel like at that point, I just had to believe that it was like mind over matter. Like as soon as I believed we were gonna lose our space, then that it was gonna happen. So I kind of made the decision and that we weren't going anywhere anytime soon. My favorite part is the connection and meeting new people. And I remember when I was a youngster getting my haircut, I always I always thought the barbers were cool, and I always wanted to have like a conversation with them, you know? And now that I'm a barber and I get, you know, kids as young as, you know, infants or toddlers to teenagers to even in their 20s, to be able to like give them encouragement and advice if they need it, you know? I always knew that it was way more about like service and embodying the values of a barber versus like just a good haircut. I look back and I think this is exactly what I envisioned when I was 12 years old, you know? But at the same time is when you accomplish that or when you feel that, it just drives you to be even better, you know, and to evolve that. So I think I always appreciate, you know, what we have done, but I'm always moved and motivated to, you know, continue progressing that. But Greater Good is a community thing, so I look to my right and to my left, and I bounce ideas off of people. And when I'm not doing so great, these people lift me up. So I'm very appreciative of that and what we've done here and where we're going.
Well, here in the Valley, we've been experiencing some chilly mornings.
Yes, Sienna Monet joins us from the Cronkite Weather Center with what we can expect over the next few days, including on Thanksgiving.
Yes, so this morning we had a low of 49 degrees, which right now we're sitting at 67. So it's still getting pretty chilly. At about 8 p.m. we're going to be at 64. Then it's going to drop down 4 more degrees, and about 10 p.m. we're going to be at 60. So if you are going on that evening walk with the family, make sure to bundle up, because as that sun goes down, those temperatures are also going down. It's going to be a low of 16 up at the Grand Canyon as our lowest low across the state, a low of 51 here in Phoenix, 49 down in Tucson, 30 in Page, and then 20 in Flagstaff. And looking at our high temperatures across the state, we're going to be in the 80s here in the valley, 81 here in Phoenix, 83 down in Tucson, and then up north, you guys have been experiencing a lot of snow, but you're going to be out of the 30s and the 40s. We're going to be in the 60s, 61 at the Grand Canyon, 62 in Flagstaff, and then on the western part of the state, you're going to be in the mid 70s and low 80s with 81 in Yuma. And taking a look across the country at our major big cities, we're going to be at 81 here in Phoenix, and that's because of those high temperatures coming on through, and that's going to bring us those warmer weather here the next few days. Thursday and Friday, we're going to have a high of 82 degrees and a low of 50. Then on Saturday, by the time you're settling in your seats for that ASU versus BYU football homecoming game, we're going to have a high of 78, and it's going to cool down to 48 as our low. And the following days after, we are going to be above average for this time of year. 77 on Tuesday, 73 on Wednesday, and then a high of 74 on Thursday. So by the time you're having your Thanksgiving festivities, it's going to be perfect weather to be outside with the family. Sienna Monet from the Cronkite Weather Center, back to you.
Coming up next, hockey is back in Prescott.
That's right. After a 10-year hiatus, people in Prescott Valley are excited to experience players back on the ice. See how the community in Prescott is excited to welcome back hockey after the break. Don't say that.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me, so I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
3, 2, 1.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut. Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X at @CutASU.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Jalen Weathers. All eyes are on ASU football this week as they continue to prepare for Saturday's showdown against BYU. With 3 weeks left until the Big 12 championship game, the stakes couldn't get any higher. Arizona State comes into this matchup on fire, winning 3 games in a row. BYU heads into Tempe coming off a 17-13 loss versus Kansas. It will be the most crucial home game for ASU since back in 2014 when they hosted Notre Dame. And on one last note, the Sun Devils have not lost a single home game this entire season.
I mean, not really. I mean, I feel like we grind every single time. I guess the juice, I'd say, is, it's definitely there. Folks are excited to play in this game, so that's a factor. But individual reps, I feel like we're just going just as hard, if not a little bit harder, I guess.
The college football playoff rankings were revealed last night, and the Sun Devils are ranked 21st. This is the first time this season the Sun Devils found themselves ranked in the CFP rankings, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Now on to ASU men's basketball. The Sun Devils are back on the court tonight at Desert Financial Arena. ASU will host Cal Poly, looking to extend their winning streak to 3 games. The Sun Devils come into this contest with a 4-1 record. ASU defeated St. Thomas, Minnesota, 81-66 in their previous game on Sunday. The team has been clicking on offense over their last 4 games, averaging 83 points. They'll look to keep up their undefeated record at home this season. After tonight's game, the Sun Devils will have a week of rest before they take the court again. Their next game will be against New Mexico on Thanksgiving Day in sunny Palm Springs. Meanwhile, the Suns will play their second home game of their 6th home stand against the New York Knicks. The Suns come into this matchup stumbling. Phoenix has lost 4 straight games now. The Suns have battled a significant share of injuries, as both Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant have missed extended time. The Suns have not won a game since both of them have been out of the rotation. The team looks to flip the page tonight against the Knicks, and an emphasis for the team going into this one will be how to stop one of the deepest starting fives in the NBA, headlined by New York's 2 stars.
Starting with Brunson, he can make a lot of plays, he can score. He draws a lot of attention, and then you have Carl popping a lot, which opens up a lot of lanes for them, and the other guys, Mikal, OG, they're just well-rounded players that are great at doing the intangibles.
This is the last Suns game before the team enjoys a little break during the season, as the team doesn't play again until next Tuesday against the Lakers for the in-season tournament. A Northern Arizona venue formerly used in minor league professional hockey got to experience live action again after a 10-year hockey hiatus. Cronkite News reporter Brady Hansen traveled to Prescott Valley for the Grand Canyon Hockey Classic.
A Findlay Toyota Center full of ice hockey fans is a sight that isn't seen very often these days. But the University of Arizona and GCU were able to bring the thrill of hockey back to Prescott Valley for the first annual Grand Canyon College Hockey Classic.
That was an awesome moment to feel the crowd and to be a part of that. I appreciate everyone coming out and, love the boys and lots of energy. You just gotta love it.
From 2006 to 2014, the Findlay Toyota Center was home to the Arizona Sundogs, a former CHL team. Now the arena is primarily used for the Northern Arizona Wranglers of the Indoor Football League. But the Grand Canyon College Hockey Classic provided Prescott Valley hockey fans with the opportunity to see live hockey, and in return created an amazing environment for the players.
Fans here in the community loves hockey. Like they love it. They want it badly, want physical and full-time hockey back.
The Lopes hockey team often doesn't experience a big-time arena, but as the host team for this inaugural event, they knew they had to put on a show for their home crowd. Through a back-and-forth battle, GCU was able to hold on to a 4-3 victory and send the crowd home happy.
This was an amazing night. I mean, it was so awesome being able to play in front of the fans like that, and then obviously to win the game and against a rival like U of A. I mean, I don't think it could have been any better.
With the overwhelming success of the game, it certainly feels like the Grand Canyon College Hockey Classic hopes to be a staple event for years to come. In Prescott Valley, Brady Hansen, Cronkite News.
This Lopes win was their 5th of the season, pushing them now up to 8th in the WCHL division. And that's all we have today on sports. I'm Jalen Weathers. Now back to Sam and Anna at the desk.
Coming up next, stores are gearing up for Black Friday.
And consumers are looking to maximize their savings. After the break, we'll have a rundown of which stores are offering the best Black Friday discounts.
So I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
Innovation at the Walter Cronkite School is pushing the boundaries of traditional journalism.
Storytelling has evolved over the years. This is part of that evolution.
Students in the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Lab are using emerging technology to create scenes in augmented and virtual reality, coding playable games, and bringing the audience into the story.
They're only limited by their imagination and their willingness to learn.
Find out more at cronkite.asu.edu.
The scientists and engineers that support the next mission to Mars could be in this class.
Getting a degree at ASU is a journey that can take you anywhere. Into a world of groundbreaking technology and renowned award-winning faculty. Professors who help you to impact the world. Whether you're on campus or at home, becoming your best starts with learning from the best.
Last year's Black Friday deals brought in 76 million Americans to shop in person, and 90 million Americans shopped online.
As for this year, Wallet Hub just released their report on the best places to shop on Black Friday, ranking the discount rate, which is how much the retailers discount the normal price. The place with the highest overall discount rate was at JCPenney at 76%. The second is Belk with a 72% discount rate, Macy's with a 57%, Kohl's 43%, and Walmart with a 37%. The lowest discount rate was at Costco with an 18% discount.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Sam Dayton.
And I'm Anna McClure. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.